golden morning, 'cause you're golden.
Hey, what's up? What's up? This is Steve, and you are watching Mochi Pop Live. And today we are about to explore the world of K-pop and its directors, specifically from SM Entertainment, director accused of, wait for it, discrimination against NCT's Yuta and aespa's Giselle. I think that's her name. Giselle. So quote right there. When it's time to pander to Japanese fans, they used these two. Right? That's kind of the story. Now, again, whether this is true or not, that's the question. I always question everything when it comes to these types of stories, especially if it's gossip, things like that. But I like to do gossip on this channel because it's interesting, and maybe it'll get me some views. Who knows? But so this specific article has caught my attention because SM's a pretty huge entertainment company, and I respect them as a company, and since the K-pop company that I've been observing for a long time. Now, the two main companies that I've been kind of observing mostly has been JYP and SM. Those are the two main ones. Probably a little bit more SM at the time when China was killing it, and SM had a lot of attention. They even went to Madison Square Garden back in 2011, right? And they were already ahead of the game when it came to sending their K-pop stars outside of Korea. Now, again, at the time, it wasn't K-pop wasn't mainstream, but I think SM had a similar vision than maybe YG did in a better timing, and also I can't think of BTS's agency right now, but same thing, right? But SM was kind of ahead of the curve in that way, and JYP was ahead of the curve probably in some other way. Maybe they were more international. Like YG was international in a sense with Big Bang, right? It was an international group too. So you can see the similarities. And I think SM was very U.S. focused. I think they just didn't have the right timing. But continuing with the director, an SM Entertainment director is being accused of alleged xenophobia and discrimination against Japanese K-pop idols. Every time I hear the word xenophobia, I have no idea what they're talking about. Just say it'll be easier to just say discrimination, because these extra words are not helping. Basically, they're discriminating them again because I guess we'll find out why. Okay? People exposed SM Entertainment director and Koo Young-jun for allegedly exploiting Japanese K-pop idols, right? So that was the reason, and I know that was the reason because I read a little bit of it before I started this, and it was just an easy guess. We know that even Twice has at least 3 Japanese K-pop idols, and I wonder how they've been doing, right? And they're with JYP, and JYP is all about Japan, right? Because they go there all the time. But you can argue, like, are they pandering? Was it about all the money? Because you know that Japan and Korea in general has had beef, but it's usually more the older generation, right? Because of what happened with the war and things like that. So it's understandable for the older people a little bit, but it's no excuse to kind of blame the younger people for being Japanese. It makes zero sense. Just a different time now. Things are completely changed. Yeah, you have some politicians in Japan that may seem insensitive, but you can't. A Japanese K-pop idol has nothing to do with that, right? They just want to make it in the world and do some K-pop, because the Japanese entertainment industry has been kind of catching up in the sense of the K-pop style. Not that they need it, but it will help them become more closer to getting to America, even though America themselves kind of discriminate with Asian pop in general because of the certain things that maybe some people may not like, not because they're Asian, just because they're their maybe style, right? Specifically with the male groups, right? Kind of like when that Indian guy made fun of BTS for being pretty boys, things like that, right? So, but then you have the Japanese groups. I won't mention this group yet, but they're a little bit more, just a different feel, right? More a bad boy feel, right? So it depends on the group, but and I'll even say the Korean group Shinhwa, I would say they're on that. They could be on that level depending on which member you're talking about. They're old school, but the old school had a similar style to Japan in a way that made them similar, depending on what group you're talking about. And I'm specifically talking about groups like Exile and other things like that. So they're pretty unique on that way. So that, to me, that's my equivalent. But naturally, the company would like to profit from overseas. Let me just make sure you guys got this. Let's see. Where am I? Profit from overseas fans. The international idols are alleged not treated equally. So that's really the accusation here, that they are not treated equally at all. And that's possible. Again, sometimes things could be obvious, sometimes things can't be obvious. Sometimes things are a coincidence, sometimes things you just can't get around because it doesn't make any sense. And you're like, is this discrimination? Why? So I'll explain more. Like recently, citizens notice, I said citizens, netizens, I think this is a translation from somewhere. I think it just means people noticed that Taekyung Jun had liked all of the SM Entertainment Idols posts on Instagram except for Japanese members such as NCT's Yuta and aespa's Giselle. I believe that's their name, Giselle or Giselle. I actually didn't know that aespa had a Japanese member, so that's something I didn't really explore yet because I wasn't really too much concentrated on each individual member, but just as a group I was seeing their music videos and reacting to it. But I want to find out more about them. And actually, they're going to have a concert in August. I still may go if the tickets aren't sold out. It was around the same time KCON in LA was being sold. And I was like, if I can't get to these concerts at KCON, which is like the skin of my teeth, I was able to get it. But aespa had a concert before that in August, and I was thinking about checking them out. Now I want to check them out more because it's a Japanese member in the group, right? It makes the K-pop groups more interesting, and I think it makes Korea and Japan stronger together culturally because they have no reason to fight anymore. They can make their economies huge if they just work together, in my opinion. So Japanese fans have exposed this via social media, right? So Japanese fans are not happy, guys. The Japanese fans aren't happy. So these are some social media posts. The person who says, "I promise you SM 3.0 is acting childishly like Yuta, only pressing love on the 17th anniversary, so SM 3.0 won't work, right? It's a story. SM 3.0 is nothing more than an activity that says I will not allow slander that will lower our Okini stock." So, and these are some pictures of idols, whatever, maybe Japanese idols, right? Yes. So, in past posts, it seems that other members are also. This is an article. This is not an article. Sorry, this is a post from a person. All right, on social media. OB something. I don't know. H. In past posts, it seems that other members are also said to be an example of a post from 1.2 years ago, so I'll add it. But SM also acknowledged that there was a difference between the members before SM 3.0 was announced. Please put aside the period and think about it. What I'm trying to say is that we're doing this after we announce SM 3.0. So that's something else. Don't know exactly what he's talking about, but maybe some people can comment below. I'm pretty sure you're doing this on purpose. I was doing exactly the same with things with aespa. I repeated many times that I wouldn't only Giselle in the post. I mean, do those like or hearts, on the post. In the post of the 4 people who appeared at the same time. Is this a coincidence? With both of you are members of each group who are being treated strangely, aren't they? WW, what that means. So I guess they're trying to figure out, like, I guess a director is not liking their specific post, but all the other members, this is what I'm getting at. All the members' posts are being liked by this director, except the Japanese members. So, yeah, that would be an issue, I guess, if the pattern just continues like that. It could be just that he doesn't like your style. I don't know. Like, oh, they always post like this. I'm not into these type of posts because you guys do it the Japanese way and we do it the Korean way, and I like your Korean way better, so I'm not gonna like your posts. But as a director, even if that's the case, even if it has nothing to do with them being Japanese, it could be that he just doesn't like those members too. Who knows? But even if that is the case, the director should never let that be known, because the key is to treat everybody equally. And even if you don't like them, pretend you like them, right? That's like the real world, right? Is it sudden? Is it what's is it sudden? So somebody's showing a picture, maybe of the guy from Yuta, was it? Yeah. When I saw his picture at first, I thought he looks Japanese. He looks like that one Japanese actor. This makes a lot of sense. But interesting. And then I guess the Japanese member, no matter what you do later, you can undo your past actions. Well, that's true. It depends on the director. If he changes his ways, whatever. Because a lot of the cultures, especially Asia, is pretty unforgiving with this kind of with just little things like this. America's similar, those cultures don't understand, like once you're guilty forever. It doesn't matter. Now of course again, all of this is speculation, right? But people notice things, right? people notice the littlest things, and if you don't know that by now, it being in this industry, people notice patterns, right? Sometimes people just care a lot about that stuff. Japan cares, right? Japan can see their idols. They see who's liking their posts. If an important director from SM is not liking their post, but they notice he liked every other member's post, but the two Japanese people don't get a like from the director, that is suspicious, right? So people have a right to complain about that. Again, I'm not, like, me personally, let's say if I was a member of a certain group, a K-pop group that was from Japan, just at least the way I think now, I'm not sure if I would care that much. Like, would I even expect a older Korean director? I'm not sure how old he is. He's gonna be that old, but to be that discriminatory. But maybe he's just old enough that he just feels that kind of history from Japan or whatever it is. We're better than Japanese people. That type of attitude. China has the same attitude. All the Asian countries are the same in that way. But this is why K-pop is doing well, because they're able to utilize different nationalities, and they can get along if they just stop being idiots, right? So here's another post. Oh yes, thank you for the firefighting performance. What is that? Yeah. It was known by the person himself who started this distribution of Zawakawa on Netflix in Korea. Don't just look like a fire extinguisher or heart. Please publicize it, even though it's not a distribution for English-speaking countries. The work side even gave me an English tweet, so I don't know. Won't work anymore. So I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about. Looks like this is a post about mention Yuta. Yeah, Yuta. High and low, the worst accent like that. So high and low is it? I'm pretty sure high and low. Yeah, I just talked about high and low. It's a Japanese, show, and maybe Yuta was on it. Maybe I feel like I saw him on it on the preview on one of the clips, but I could be wrong. But it would make sense. It's on Netflix, so you guys check it out. But yeah, so he's basically saying, yeah, I guess I'm not sure exactly what again, the translation is really hard to really figure out when you translate it from like Japanese and to English. But who posted this anyway? So yeah. Still fans of the idols are dissatisfied. MY's aespa fans have even trended SM stop disrespecting Giselle, as there is a long history of what appears to be neglect towards Giselle. I want to say Giselle because I'm not sure. The fandom has called out SM Entertainment for making it appear that the group is only 3 members. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. I mean, it happened in SHINee on the last video hard because one of the members had to go to the hospital or something, so he couldn't finish the music video with them. And I thought the directing was terrible because of that reason. Why on earth would SHINee's director, I know this has nothing to do with it, but it could be just bad directing too, but why would SHINee's director or editor or the producers publish the music video? I've never talked about this guy, by the way. I've never seen anybody else talk about the SHINee music video. But I noticed that, yeah, people were talking about, there were 3 members on the last scenes of the SHINee music video. And that's a director's decision, right? And all 4 of them are Korean, by the way, right? It's not like they have one Japanese member. So based on that situation, and okay, the guy's going to hospital, they could have edited it in a way that all 4 members are in each scene and not maybe concentrated on the last scene as much and concentrated on the shots that they took earlier with the 4th member that left to the hospital because of health issues in the group SHINee. They could have just edited it in a way that made all the 4 members appear or shot them individually, at least on one scene, but on the scenes that they're together, you would end it with them. So I think when you shoot scenes, you should maybe directors would start doing this to kind of, okay, what if this happens? What if this happens? Let's shoot all the scenes, which I think they do already, right? They shoot all the scenes first, and then make sure every scene is similar, so you can get shots of all of them together. And if one person leaves before the last scene, meaning the set change, if they leave, you can just edit it in a way that either don't include that scene or include that scene as individual like shots and do it in a different way. Just be creative, right? So I thought that was interesting that they would make them 3 members at the end, and the SHINee member in the hospital, I can't think of his name right now, but the SHINee member who had to go to the hospital was left out of those last scenes. And I was looking at 3 members. Wasn't there 4 members? I honestly thought 3 members were in the music video when I saw that scene. Like, did I miss something? But the 4th member was there. He just wasn't in that last scene. So that was interesting. And that was a director's choice. That was a producer's choice. And maybe they're foreshadowing the possibility of the one of 4 of the members not being there. So maybe it's just like, okay, we're just letting people know that this might be a normal thing. I'm not sure why they would say it like that. They should just make an announcement later on if one of the members can't like be a part of SHINee anymore for health reasons. I'm not saying that's the case. I just thought that was an interesting choice on the director's side, producer's side, for releasing a video that doesn't have all 4 members. So in this situation with the Japanese people in the groups, it says they made it look like there's only there are basically less members, and the Japanese member, at least Giselle, appearing to only have 3 members instead of 4. I'm guessing, right? So that's a big deal because, again, is it a coincidence or are they saying something that, okay, maybe Giselle won't be here anymore? Or it's all speculation, right? It's weird though. That part is weird. Okay, so I'll give them that. The disrespect that she is given, even though they just debuted her with such little training. Another bad sign. And never gave her any chance to show off her talent, even with how successful Zoo was, from Zoo to Jet, in Jet she barely even sang and was basically dubbing someone else. That's bad. That's terrible, right? She probably needs more singing training, or she can just be a dancer. And because there's a lot, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of K-pop groups that are just good at dancing. They're not the best vocals, but they kind of do more background singing. But let's say ITZY, for example, they would have each member sing a certain verse or even twice. So every member is not the best singer. You just got to get them out there and train them more so they can sing a simple verse or a simple line. And if it's too hard, they can change it up for that specific member, as long as it matches up with the song. Or you can change the whole song, depending on it. Just make it for the members. Songs need to be made for the member, so they can all work together harmoniously, and so one member can't feel discriminated against. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about how good the song is, it's also about how you treat the members and how the audience, the fans, the supporters perceive whether or not the group is doing well together, right? And that's kind of what I look for in a group. I think this is why Twice has been fairly successful. You can't say that every Twice member is the best thing in the world, but they made it so each member has the capability of singing the verses and or the choruses together, and or individually, depending on which part they're singing. So as for most recent album release, Giselle has had 0 solo schedules, and one schedule she shared with Karina. So the one schedule she has gotten as a solo artist or a solo performance, she shared with Karina, which wasn't really solo, I guess. So yeah. And of the 3 years they have debuted, Giselle has had at most less than 5 solo schedule, while every other member is coming up to 20 and more. So it could be like, okay, the question really is for me, like, I look at everything, right? Is it discrimination specifically because she's Japanese, or is it discrimination because she's Giselle or Giselle, right? Giselle. It could be one or the other two. It could be both. It could be a coincidence that she's Japanese. Maybe because she's Japanese, she doesn't understand the Korean culture as well as, I'm pretty sure she does, but or maybe the director perceives that she doesn't understand Korea or something, and maybe Giselle is just too Japanese to kind of get along with her. But I think, again, I went to Japan multiple times. I had no problem getting along with Japanese females per se, right? Because if you have to still understand where a Japanese person is coming from, and you have to understand Korea when you get there. And most people would understand Korea for the most part, at least if you're in Asia, because they know Asia, right? So I don't think Giselle had any problem with the culture. I think she probably has a problem with singing. Maybe she's not the best singer. You guys can correct me on that, but that could be a possibility that she may not be as good as the other members, and it's harder for her to have a solo schedule. I don't personally think that's the case, but maybe the director thinks that's the case. I think Giselle, because she wouldn't be there if she couldn't sing, right? In my opinion. But again, you would be surprised who these Korean producers pick based on maybe looks or how well they get along with the other members. So Giselle has had. So let me read this again. This is important. Giselle has had at most less than 5 solos scheduled, while every other member is coming up to 20 and more. So that's a huge difference. So 5 solo schedule, wow, okay, has had at most 5 solo schedules. So all the other members had 20 or more. All right, so that's like 3x, right? Or 2x. She had 10, they would have 2x. So I guess 3x. Basically like 3 to 4 times more, because this is and more, so I'm not exactly sure which member had the most. Maybe the most popular members or something. I'm always rooting for the Japanese members, so because I know it's hard to be in a K-pop group being Japanese, so that's why I like to support the Japanese members as much as I can, in a spiritual sense, I guess. So during debut, this is a comment: media outlets blurred, cropped, and not uploaded Giselle's solo photos. So more reasons. It could be honestly not just the director's fault. It could also, because this is all, is the director responsible for all this uploading and photo shoots, solo photos, media outlets blurred? What media outlets were they? Were they SM media outlets, or were they Korea? Was it Korea as a whole, as a country? Because again, it may not be just the director. It could be just Korea, right? Tripping about something, right? No offense to Korea, but we know that there's some beef with Korea and Japan. Everybody knows that. So that it could be just the overall media, and I'm not exactly sure if it's because they don't like Giselle for some reason, or is it because she's Japanese, or is it both, or because again, it seems Twice seems to be doing okay, but you guys can comment below if they're not in that way, because I haven't seen any problems, any news at least yet, with Mina and the others and Momo, right? So these are some of the events. Korea Univ, I guess University, only responded after being called out. So blurring Giselle's out of / including her in press photos. So I guess these are the photos that they blurred out. I guess, sure. Yeah, you can see like kind of a half. You barely see her face. Let me just check this Twitter post real quick to see like exactly what it looks like, because I think this is important to kind of verify. But yeah, it looks like the face is blurred out. There it is. So she's here. Her face is cut off. We can see her with the group though, but right here you kind of don't like. That's weird. That's yeah. Those are definitely like. The question is this a pattern, right? Is this a pattern? You can see replies not included in aespa variety content thumbnail. After a week, she had to ask them to upload her playlist, and they failed to prevent technical issues during her live performance. So during this live performance, next level was really good. That was a hit. Yeah, I guess they just didn't. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Also, you gotta see if you can find patterns besides this, right? So this is one of her photos, I think. I could be wrong. Brands are not releasing Giselle's solo shots, and no one from SM actually checked these ads when it's not only happened once. So again, like I said before, it could be Korea as a whole. Like there's certain people, certain presidents or whatever who just do not want to support any Japanese members of any group. So if they treat Giselle like that, they could easily treat Momo or Mina or the others. There's more than one these days of Japanese members in groups. So her name being misspelled, she got the plain white background holding no product and was not uploaded in the site. So these are just companies' decisions, right? They just made a decision like, we don't want to. I'm not sure why this is doing that, but yeah. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so right here you can see it. You can see all three members holding a product, and Giselle is holding nothing. Is that an actual ad? I hope not. Yeah, and the white background is a little weird. I feel like that they just used some type of photo from some other time. Like, yeah, Giselle couldn't make it to the photo shoot today, man. But they could have easily like photoshopped something in her hand. It's silly. And also, why is she holding it like this? Why, like, how does she hold the product like this? Like, sorry guys, like, so like this. How does she hold the product like this? You have to hold it like, based on the product that I'm seeing. It looks like you have to have the product facing forward with the white part of the product, that the handle. Sorry, the top. The white part would be showing, or the back. You can't really see the product if she held it in this way. It makes zero sense to me. So that's a little weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So something else. Am I the only one who can't find Giselle's playlist on aespa Spotify profile? That's also interesting. I guess. Who knows? I mean, I don't tell you guys. This is interesting, guys. Maybe I like a part 2 of this. The Spotify playlist I chose, I asked them to upload it into aespa's account, and it's been uploaded today. Go check it out if you want to listen to songs during. So some things have happened. During SM Song Giselle, an ear didn't work. SM Town Tokyo Day 1, she had to run on the stage to join the chorus. Day 2, today she had an ear issue again. This is just messed up. An ear issue. Do you mean like the thing you sing with? Like, so is this a recurring thing? Is she using the same ear product to listen to the sound, or is it just some coincidence? Is this happening only to her? Like, I need more. I need more, guys. I need more. Because again, it's easy to speculate things. But there's always that one person who always has trouble with something. She could be one of those people. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys, but what is your opinion on this, guys? Is this just hearsay, or is this an actual thing? Now, I would say the product thing is more telling, because again, you can't blame the director at this point, because it could be who the director is working with. A lot of times, even in America, there's certain people who have a certain maybe they don't. This one company doesn't like this person because of what this person said one time, and they don't want to sponsor this person. But if that person's in a group and all the other group members seem normal enough, meaning Korean, right, and they want to sponsor the group, but they don't want to sponsor an individual, that would be an obvious thing. If you don't see the fourth member in a group, it'd be obvious. There's no question that there's been some discrimination with the Japanese member if multiple companies are doing it, and it's so noticeable that it just has to be mentioned on social media. So there's certain things that are coincidences. I think there's other things that are not, and sometimes the outside forces or companies, sponsors may let people know that, hey, we don't like this Japanese girl in our K-pop, right? Which, again, maybe from their perspective, K-pop is only for Korean nationals or Korean race. So I can understand if they feel that way. Like, what is this Japanese person doing in K-pop? Even I've thought that at times. Like, hey, that's interesting. A Japanese person in K-pop. That's the new thing. I think one of the older, I won't say old school, but I think she's a solo singer. She's Japanese and she's a K-popper. And she's a solo artist though, and she has her own. I can't think of her name, but she's been around for a while. I guess she has a fan base, and she seems like just kind of has a different vibe, but she's just doing her thing. So I think it just depends upon the sponsors. Like, not every sponsor is gonna like what they see, and it's just one of those things that an international group like aespa, which they are an international group by definition, right? And to be stronger in Japan, they have to have a Japanese member because it'll just be easier. So this is, I guess, one member is not there, maybe. Okay. I'm trying to see. Okay, so I'm guessing there's not a fourth member, right? Yeah, you guys can let me know about this, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, look at this product, right? So, again, is this one company or multiple companies? Because it seems like it's the same skincare company, but I could be wrong. Could be one skincare company or or a few of them, and maybe one person in on a stage for some odd reason couldn't get the mic working because they're incompetent, and the same person went back to the same concert and did the exact same thing. Like, oh, he just happened to get for the exact same earphones, right? Giselle's solo background set in DCT was plain. Clearly, they made zero effort for her, unlike with other members, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous move. So I guess this is them on the set. Yeah, she has a set, and I don't know. Again, and this is one of the sets that they made. Right. So yeah, it looks like they have their. I mean, it looks like a background. Looks like they have their stuff. She has a background. She and I talked about her. Wouldn't it be better to put in place with graffiti, a place where we can change background to some and let the members move around more freely? How about that? Actually change its shooting position when and there's another grid next to it. There are also drums. Giselle was standing and a lot of pipes and staring. So moves are too limited. It's not pretty here. So they basically made her like in a very difficult position to move a lot, and it wasn't like as pretty scene as the other members in comparison. So they say it's not very pretty. So even the director or the assistant director are saying that's not very pretty. Better background to something glamorous. And let the members move around more freely. How about that? Yeah, so there's repeating it, but yeah, this is interesting. Again, I don't know what to tell you guys. Is this all coincidence? Incompetency? Maybe they just don't know how to treat the Japanese member because she's Japanese. Maybe they think she wants something that she doesn't. Maybe they're just making assumptions. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But this has been a little long-winded, but I just wanted to really get through this because this is interesting. Her name being misspelled. Now she has a Japanese name and is written in Japanese. I wouldn't understand why they would misspell a name in Japanese, but if you're not Korean, that's a little bit less of a, I'm pretty sure even like the Koreans' names are misspelled every once in a while. Maybe, I don't know. So it's just the same stuff, but for the most part, it is speculation for the most part, but you can't deny if you see an ad and it's like 4 members and 1 member is not holding a product at all. That is suspicious. The ear thing, NCT's Yuta as well. Maybe he has problems with him too. It was more about Giselle, but maybe Yuta has more stories about this. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope hope this was informative because again, it gives you an insight into the K-pop industry and how things really can be, especially when dealing with sponsors. So check out aespa. Support Giselle, support Yuta, support all the Japanese members. And if you're Korean, let them know that you love them and you're supporting them and you're not going to discriminate against them. You are the fans and you tell SM that this is not okay. And by supporting them, buying their solo albums, letting people know on the internet, and making them look bad, and not just destroy them, just to change their opinion. That's really what the goal is, right? If they didn't want to change their opinion, that's fine. But hey, again, this is Korea versus Japan here, and things are gonna happen. And so make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we will be back with more news from things like SM Entertainment and all the other entertainment companies that describes what the K-pop industry really is like. So again, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment below, guys. What do you think about this? Until next time, peace.